good morning. Welcome back. We got to talk about last night. But if we're just getting acquainted, my name is Sunny. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I've sat through more than 300 jury trials as a criminal paralegal, and this is not my first rodeo on YouTube. In fact, the channel you're watching is 13 years old, and for about the last 8 years, I've been behind the scenes for some channels you might actually be subscribed to. I know you don't care about me, so we're going to hop right into the discussion about the book that we read from cover to cover last night. So immediately on page 1, we start with the disclaimers and a very explosive claim that says, regarding Kim's sudden death and the mysterious illness of Al B. Sure and Jamie Foxx, evidence does exist that points to foul play and or poisoning. If you're wondering if it's possible to be poisoned and then subsequently get fatal pneumonia, the answer is yes. I strongly recommend that you hop down the rabbit hole. This one might take you a couple of years, and research all of the exotic tech that the military and private military adjacent contractors have in their possession. I was born as a sunshiny optimist, and it took flat out hard work to accept the fact that not everybody's like me. They are not like us. Right? And in 2024, I think we're starting to understand that the people that are in charge of our lives, our day-to-day lives, our situations, don't always, or maybe don't often, have our best interests at heart. It's absolutely possible to kill people in a relatively undetectable way. So is it a possibility? Yes. Did it happen? We have no idea. So right away, we can address what Al B. Sure has stated. The other big problem is that this book names so many people, and luckily, half of them are alive. And we've already heard from one of them. Somebody that has a massive bone to pick with Diddy and who is very much alive in 2024 and was mentioned heavily in the book and has way better connections than Diddy ever had, or maybe they were the same connections at one point in time, is Kidada Jones, daughter of Quincy, who is now, right now, today in 2024, employed by Disney. If you're younger and you got your Tupac or your Diddy shirt at like Walmart or a cool thrift store, and I'm not being patronizing, you are not aware of how long the investigation around the death of Pac, the death of Biggie, has been going on. I mean, people have written their thesis on this. Like, we're talking about police corruption in Los Angeles and New York. We're talking about corruption that's aided by cops in two of the dirtiest PDs on earth. Why is it so hard to believe that a crappy, pathetic gangster dude with very little cojones had his business partners murdered and cops helped out with it? Like, that's not hard to believe. That's throw a stone and you'll hit a dirty cop. And I know you missed this. I know you didn't catch this. But when in the book, when Kim Porter and Diddy are in the fancy restaurant where Rudy Giuliani also has a table that night, and he's on the phone talking to someone and says, tomorrow we will release the song Who Shot Ya, in reference to Who Shot Tupac in the recording studio. That song in reality, in fact, was released on February 21st, 1995. Okay? And this is where in real life investigators, not internet investigators, not you and not me, are able to corroborate. And by the way, it's corroborate, not corroborate, for the record. They're going to be able to take that date as a benchmark and work backwards, work around, like flush that out. What did the song come out? Did the song come out right after that conversation in real life? Did that really happen? because we can find out, where did they dine that night? Who was there? Did the song come out on time? Were there delays? That's available. That's accessible information. Something that stood out to me and was very strange are the portions in the book actually relating to Al B. Sure and the conversation, I think it's chapter 16, that X has with Diddy after having like a threesome with Will Smith and X. They chose to redact certain identities of presumably living people, and then they have chose to leave in the identities of others. So like they left in, called out by name, Mary J. Blige, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Kimora Lee Simmons. Okay, so that's a very interesting choice. And why was the choice made? To leave in so many, and redact this one name over and over. The air is pregnant with expectation, awaiting what these people will say. And right now, it's silence. So as someone that has over 20 years of paralegal experience in criminal court, including federal court on massive, massive cases where the discovery takes up literally rooms as big as my house, I have a hunch that many of those people are absolutely being called or have already been contacted as witnesses. So as with most things in life, there are levels to this shit. And I think it's pretty clear based on the indictments and all of these documents, interviews, data that will become, is right now today becoming discovery in a real criminal case and has absolutely nothing to do with this book. It's pretty obvious to all of us that Diddy works for someone. Diddy has a boss. And that is why I'm here. Honestly, I don't care that much about Diddy's arrest. I am here. I have pulled out the old microphone and the lights because I believe we are banging down the door of the type of people Diddy answers to. I think that's the only reason ever that people like Diddy or Weinstein or Epstein get tossed out there for our consumption to be brought to justice. They are always fall guys. These problems are systemic. They're supported by huge networks of people. They go on for decades. You'll see a CP ring go down and they'll grab 40 people. Why do they only arrest one Diddy, one Epstein, and one Weinstein? One of the creators that I work for is meticulous, scholarly, master's educated, and I have spent 8 years of my life alongside that person trying to figure out who pulls the strings in this country. And every single day, our situation gets worse. We can't afford anything. I was on Facebook the other day, which I rarely do, and I'm in a neighborhood group, and someone is asking for 5 diapers to get through to payday. So me and all my friends have a major bone to pick with the type of people that Diddy answers to, right? Ooh, I just got chills. I'm covered in chills. People can't get regular jobs, let alone jobs that would create generational wealth and allow them to provide for their families for generations to come. I find it highly objectionable that thugs, mafiosos, criminals, ne'er-do-wells, Johnny-come-latelys, almost exclusively get to hold these positions, get to live out their creative dreams, okay, in our place. You have to work for shit money at McDonald's if you can get the job after they advertise that it was going to be $15 an hour, but it's actually only $11 because they don't actually give you $15 an hour, while there's a growing segment of society that has captured all of the wealth in the world for themselves. Look, I could go on for a very long time talking about the music industry and the military industrial complex and the government and how all of those different things overlap. I've been doing this for 8 years of my life, and it's because I care about you. I'm somebody's mama, I'm somebody's grandmama, and these things really matter to me on a higher level. I'm looking at the situation on the ground, and I'm assessing it from a 40,000 foot view. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight as to why I'm interested. And also, I have a tradition of reviewing books and talking for hours about music on this channel, including my own experience as a singer. The end screen on this video is I was a singer, Illuminati warning. And I think that's one of the most profound, important videos that I've ever made for myself, on behalf of myself. But I need to bring this train into the station. So I'm going to end with the last chapter, the finale, which is the one I think that bothered me the most about the book. I think that once we get to chapter 19 and we are literally from a first person POV being walked through an alleged murder from the victim's perspective, is where I've really started to wonder about the credibility of this book. I like to think of myself as the best potential juror on the face of the earth because I really, really want the truth. Chapter 19 is so out of this world that it's the one I kept thinking about after I logged off for the night, after I finished reading the book and put it down, because it's someone's last words. Right? That's what they're saying. They're saying these are her last words on this page. Is that possible? Is it possible that we start with Diddy being fully outed by the third page as a closeted gay man? And in terms of Diddy, if he felt that in, the 90s through the 2020s that he had to live as a closeted gay man, I find that so sad. That's terrible, right? I think that's my final thought. If he was so open with his sex life, this is common knowledge, like from the jump, everybody's sleeping with everybody else, but it's the biggest secret in the world on paper? That doesn't make any sense to me either. And it makes me wonder, what's the big secret? What are they really worried about being exposed? And who are they? Isn't that the question we always have when we watch these videos? Who are they? Well, some of us are getting very, very close to figuring it out. Bye. Thanks for watching.